Good afternoon, Facebook, or good morning, Facebook, depending on where you are, and good afternoon, Tina. This is Be Live in 5 with Tina and Stephen, and we're hoping that after strange events happening with one of our groups, that we are actually live.
We are. See?
We are live. Good. Right. Okay. I'm going to close that tab. I tell you what, I've come across two widgets this week. One is Twit Timer, which I think we spoke about yesterday, and the other one is called One Tab.
Yeah, I use One Tab.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I rediscovered it the other day, and it's come on in leaps and bounds. I mean, I don't know what would happen if I pressed it now. I'd probably disappear into that Facebook group.
Don't go there. You can't speak once you're in there.
Right. So this is we I'll keep quiet for a moment.
I was going to say we have a new Facebook group that we'll send you to eventually, but for now we can't even post we have no option for posting in our new group. It's just not there.
It isn't. It's crazy. You can add people to the group. You can make people an admin, but what you can't do is just create a post. You can comment, but you can't create a post. And the only thing that happened with this group is it was created from a Facebook business page. So if anybody has any knowledge of business pages, especially watching on the replay, and welcome if you are. I keep forgetting to mention that, so I thought I'd put that in at the beginning. And to our live viewer, we say hello and welcome to the show.
I've created groups from a business page before and have not had this issue. So I don't think it's related to that. I think it's just a bug that we hope will fix itself, or we'll have to create another group.
Well, yeah,
I mean, we haven't done anything with this one yet. So.
No. Well, the whole reason for I created the group was to help somebody who put a comment in Be Livers that when they created the Be Live show, they couldn't broadcast into a group of which they were admin, but which had been created by a business profile. And so that's why I created the group. And I actually, that would, thank you, Jason, that would have worked well,
Jason. Except
when she actually went to make herself admin, it wouldn't let her. Go figure. There's obviously some work going on in relation to groups. Yeah. If anybody knows of anybody who's got a group where you can't post anything, then we've got the same problem at the moment. We've also got something coming up in 2 weeks' time, which is the Be Live in 5 challenge. And it's our challenge to you to go live on BeLive.tv. It's a 5-day challenge. All right, okay. And thank you for that, Miles. Miles is saying he's had the problem and he experienced the same thing. Did you get a resolution to it, Miles? Do you want to come and talk about it? Because we'd be most interested, because at the moment it's one of life's mysteries.
Yeah, and it's not like every group that we have attached to our business pages experiencing this, because we have a second group that's for our Be Live in 5 students, and that group is working perfectly. So it's just certain groups are having this issue. Miles, do you have other groups that's as well that are working fine and just this one is not working? That's what we're having. So,
all right.
Jason, the topics wherever we go. Primarily right now we're talking about a bug in the Facebook group that's not allowing us to post anything in a group. And then also we're talking about an upcoming Be Live in 5 challenge. And then who knows what else.
Well, indeed, anything can happen. The Be Live in 5 challenge, which we're working on at the moment, and Tina and I are doing the Udemy course to go with it. It's our second Udemy course, and it will tell you, well, we're working on it, so we can't tell you what's in it.
You'll see. Stay tuned.
We'll surprise you, and probably ourselves. And Miles confirms that other groups are working well. It's just that one. Yeah, I think I'm going to wait till tomorrow, Miles, and then just see if Facebook support can help. But it does seem rather strange. Right, okay. So we've gone off topic already. So where we're going to go? If anybody wants to join us, I posted the link to actually join us live on air, and you're more than welcome to do so. Yeah. Right, now we're going to talk a little bit, because what we're actually doing here today is doing three things, which we normally do. We're creating content, and we're going to repurpose it. How's that? Because this show is about repurposing as well. So the content that we're creating is going to be repurposed into our Udemy course. So Miles is just confirming. I'll let you know what I find out, and hopefully you can join us on the future show. We look forward to that. All right. Okay. Now our favorite well, this is one we've got to go with, and this is creating solo shows. And if I go first, and then I'll give my thoughts, and then if you give your thoughts, and then we'll get together at the end. All right. One of the first options that BeLive brought out was the ability to go solo on Facebook and to show the comments on screen and to interact with people who are actually watching. And that was brilliant. That was a change, because Facebook Live didn't have that and still hasn't got that. In terms of going on a solo show, I enjoy them, but I do have a problem, which I'm going to work with, and that's I tend to go too fast. In other words, I do put a script together, I do rehearse it in my head beforehand, but when I go live on my own, I tend to go like a train, and what should have been 20 minutes content ends up being about 10, and then I go to what I normally do, which is to busk it, which is not to say you shouldn't plan, but you should also pace as well. So I enjoy the shows, and I think the more you do, then the more confident you become. And it's over to Tina.
Yeah, and I agree. You know, going solo is just like standing up and talking to a group of people. We tend to kind of get a little nervous and speak really quickly. And then, as Stephen said, our content that we had planned to be 20 minutes, because when we did it at home and we were comfortable, we spoke normally. It was 20 minutes. Then you get in front of a group and you're just nervous and you speak really quickly. And so then you don't have the length. I enjoy solo because I don't feel like I'm solo ever. There's always people watching and interacting. And I even when I go solo, I never stay solo. People always end up joining me on screen. And that's the beauty of BeLive. It allows you to put that link out and anyone can just hop on. And so I never have a problem with things running too short. I run too long because I ramble. Even when I have a script, I'll just, go off in that little rabbit hole and have fun down there. But it is a little intimidating.
I think that's a good word. That's the thing, that you do get a sense that you're actually out there on your own. Yeah. I mean, that's why I prefer doing shows where you are, like we did the shows on Tuesday and Thursday, and they're brilliant. Look forward to them. But a solo show is something that takes more planning, because you don't want to run out of words. But it's still enjoyable, isn't it?
It is, and I think you just have to. There's no reason for you to go solo if you don't want to, unless you have a point. If you're going solo, generally it's going to be because, I don't know, you can't put anything at all in this group that you just created because it has no box. And you want to say, what the heck? Is anybody else experiencing this? So you have a reason to just hop on and say something like that. Or you have planned content like Stephen talked about, where you have an agenda and you're telling people, I don't know, how to use screen sharing on the BeLive platform. And so you have steps that you're going to go through. And probably when you're doing something like that, you're not going to have a guest join you, on the fly, because you want to get through that content. Now at the end, who knows where you go when you finish. But if you come on with a point like that, if you say in your title, 5 steps to going live and using screen sharing on VLive TV, you really want to end it at the end, because the people that come and watch on replay, that's what they expect to see. So if you want to, if you get to talking and you have something else that you want to talk about in that show, and come back and start another one and invite your friends in and can continue whatever conversation kind of spun off of that. But I think it is best. And that's something I had to learn. I would just go wherever they took me, they being you all who are our viewers. But when you come on with a purpose like that, solo, where you have something that you're getting from point A to point B, you really do need to just end it and then start another broadcast and come back and do whatever it is that spun off of that.
I agree. And that's cut. We've talked about solo shows. We're doing something different today. We're actually preparing content for a Udemy course. Though rather than having a stage studio setting, we're actually doing it as part of the show and talking about different topics. We've got 3 during the course of the show. One was solo interviews, and then we'll talk about interview shows in a moment, and then talk show. So that's what we're up to. We're actually repurposing content. And a comment from Jason, which oh, right, okay, now I can empathize with this totally. When we're chatting together, we can't stop, but there is always something amusing that one of us says, and we sort of start off then. But when you're on your own, you can't see anybody's reaction. When it's just you on screen, you can't see a reaction. And that's why I also sometimes, when I'm doing a broadcast on my own, don't look happy. And I know that's true because last Friday, Brigitte was unable to make the show. So I did the first 15 minutes of the show myself. And Brigitte is saying to Vincent, go on the show, help him out. So,
well, I think you have to be yourself. If you're not like a bubbly person, then don't come on and be a bubbly person. It doesn't translate well. I think people can tell that that's fake. So you should do that. I mean, I'm not a bubbly cheerleader type. I talk with my hands, and I'm that crazy person that kind of rambles and goes all over the place. And people that like me will watch, and people who don't will go find somebody who's smiling the whole time that they're telling me about the collapse of the economy.
Oh yeah,
whatever, be who you are.
Yeah, I mean, you can play a part, but that's best to. I mean, take my hat off to Jeff and to Molly, and to Joel and to Owen, all of whom can have this presence on screen, which is all fired and ready to go, and they go at 1,000 miles an hour, and they don't stop. And it's the don't stop bit that's the problem, because we can all start off like a train, but really.
I think I actually think Joel is pretty laid back. He doesn't look happy all the time. And his motto is kind of do good things. So he is kind of a really positive person, but he's not like giddy or anything. Molly is like wired all the time. I think she must live off of like Monster or something, but really, I don't really believe that. I think that's just her personality. She's very vibrant, and she is that bubbly person. So I think they're being themselves. Jeff is laid back, and he can be kind of melancholy at times. So I think they're just real people, and they don't resonate with everyone. Not everyone likes Joel. Not everyone likes me, and that's fine.
Yeah, I mean that's the fact of life, and you accept that, and just go on. But it is amazing that people who can be larger than life attract the largest audiences.
Yeah, I haven't seen Jason live, so I need to watch him. But in his profile picture, he looks like a pretty cool dude.
And yep. Okay, now the next thing we're going to talk about, because remember we're creating content here. If you want to join us on camera, please do. I'm going to copy the link again because it will be quite handy when we come to the third of our topics to have.
we need you to join us when we get to the third of our topics, and we need you to join us with the knowledge that you're giving us permission to use this in the Udemy course.
Well, it will have your. We shall, during the section, we should go like this, and it will have your name on, and everybody who takes the course will see you. Now, we have to advise you that our current course is getting close to 3,000 students. So that's 3,000 people who...
Yeah, if you're not supposed to be online doing this, then you shouldn't come on and join us for the third part.
Yeah. The Udemy course that we're doing now is part of a challenge, and the challenge is in 3 parts. The solo part we've just spoken about, and the next part of the challenge is to do a talk show, and we're emulating that today by being the 2 of us on screen. So we're just going to talk for a moment.
Because we haven't been doing that up until this point.
No, we haven't. We've said a word yet. We haven't got started. Right. Okay. I'll go first, and then no, we don't have to go first, Tina. I'll be a gentleman.
What am I going to do?
Talk about talk show.
Talk about talk show. Okay. Well, talk shows obviously. Are we talking talk show or are we talking face to face? Do we skip face to face?
Just a minute. Just a minute. Let me come back. All the horses. That bit of the show never happened.
That's right. I'm like, what?
It wasn't real.
Did I miss something?
Sorry about that. I'm going to take that heading off the screen. But we do need some to join us in the next 20 minutes or so on camera. Otherwise, right. I'm going to do it properly now, Tina. My apologies.
Okay.
This is why we work together, because working together, we actually do get things done. And we're going to go, right, Tina, if you could talk about interview shows.
Yes, interview shows. I think that when this became a possibility to easily do interviews with people, I think that's really what kind of changed the face of all of this and made it more marketable for businesses. To be able to bring someone on, no matter where they are, they don't have to be in a studio with you or even in the same country. Obviously, Stephen and I are in different countries. To be able to bring them on and have a discussion with them, whether it's business related or it's a client testimonial, whatever it is, I think that's really what kind of gave this a kind of a big push on Facebook and has made Facebook Live popular. A part of that is because people are so intimidated by solo. To have someone on screen with you that you can bounce ideas off of and talk to and not have to rely on audience interaction just makes it much easier, much more comfortable and more dynamic. It's more interesting to watch. It's always more interesting to watch 2 or more people on screen than it is just to watch one person.
And I can identify with that, because since talk show arrived, it's changed my life, because I've done a number of interviews with people, and it's not just interviews you can do on the interview show. You can actually co-host, as Tina and I are doing today. And it does open up possibilities because you can, as Tina said, bounce off each other and get a show out which is interesting and people want to become involved in. So the more people there are, well, no, I got that wrong. I'm going to cut this bit. It is the way forward, is to have 2 people on screen talking to each other about a particular topic and bringing a reaction from the audience. Because what we want to do is to involve the audience. And I think that's key. And talk show did, in fact, change things. Oh, I've done it again. I'm talking about talk show, and it should have been interview, shouldn't I? Right, I'm going to be set for when we get to interviews. I'll edit that bit. Right, okay. As far as heavily edited, as far as interview shows are concerned, 2 people on screen, it works well. And what we tend to do now is we use the main format of BeLive.tv, so we can bring a 3rd person in as well. But talk show does allow you to have a co-host, does allow you to have guests, and it does make for a more interactive, interesting show. And it's not anywhere near as scary as going solo, which is why I might end up taking our own course. Yeah, if we can get some people, because what we're looking for is people to give their hints and tips on going solo, because what we want to do is actually build the course out interactively with everybody who gets involved. And just to remind you what we're talking about the Be Live in 5 challenge, which starts on the 13th of November, and you're all welcome to join us, and we'll bring the link with us next week. I'll also know what's in it next week, which I mean, that's helpful, isn't it? When we know what's in the challenge.
I think part of the reason for the challenge is to actually challenge people to not use talk show as a crutch. Almost everyone goes live using talk show. I don't know of very many people at all that are using face-to-face and solo anymore. Even if they're going on solo, they'll go talk show because they don't know who they're going to invite into the show that's going to come and join. And that's great. But I think there's a time and a place for solo, particularly if you are someone in business, if you're in marketing, if you're a coach, if you do really any kind of business where you're the face of the business, you need to get comfortable doing solo.
Indeed. And we'll be quite possibly, I certainly will be taking our own challenge just because we can. Jason, you said very nice. Now we've lost the plot. Well, I've lost the plot. Tina's always in control. But thank you for saying that. Yeah. Okay, so now, shall we do talk show while it's still stuck at...
Why not? Maybe somebody will join us.
Hopefully.
Usually they do, but now that we need someone to, no one will.
If you are watching this for another time, I'm going to post a link to join us on camera, and you can take part in this section and be part of the Udemy course if you hop on in the next few minutes. I'm just going to busk it for a few seconds to give somebody a chance to press the button and join us. We have
plenty of examples of talk show because we do it twice a week. And you do it more than that. So yeah, we'll figure it out, but it would be nice to have someone on specifically to talk about the challenge and have it happening all at the same time. Make it easier on Stephen for editing too.
Right.
Jason, we won't even make you smile.
Right. Okay, Jason, if you would like to try, it'd be brilliant. Okay, so my turn to go, and I'm going to talk about talk show. Right, the real game changer this year, and it has been BeLive.tv's year, is the arrival of talk show, which is 3 people on screen, which means you can have one host or 2 co-hosts as we are today, and you can bring somebody on screen and you can talk to them. It has the additional features that you can share your screen, and you can also share photographs from an album. It's magical because watching other people's shows, you see how excited people get when they're actually on live video and they can interact with each other. And you're actually creating an experience which people can enjoy. And that's the key to this. This is, if you want to a better phrase, internet television. But the beauty of it is that it's interactive. And anybody who comments can have their comments featured on screen, and they become part of the recording, and in this case, part of the Udemy show that we're doing. And it just works so well. I mean, it's amazing to see when BeLive TV did the marathon 14-hour broadcasting, which Jeff Adams hosted, to see the variety of content that people came across with, and the difference in styles and difference in, Tina might allude to this, where people are at in their broadcasting careers was eye-opening, and I got plenty of ideas from that particular day, including the idea for the challenge. So that's my take on talk show, and Tina, it's over to you.
Actually, everything that Stephen said, obviously, we love talk show. It's our favorite. We utilize it every day when we broadcast. One of the things that I really like, and I'm looking forward to that 4th seat that everyone keeps asking for as well. But even with 3 seats, there's a really cool opportunity that opens up, and that's for a producer to be producing the show, which I do quite often for clients. They don't know how to run the platform. They don't want to know how to run the platform. They're not interested in doing this as a regular thing. And so they're not interested in learning how to use the platform for business. And so I will become a producer for them, which means you never see me on the screen. I am in the lobby, essentially running the show, handling the lower thirds, making sure the camera switches to the right person, the names are up, all of that, while they're doing whatever their broadcast is about. I would love to see more producer features added, and I think we'll get those at some point in the future. Obviously, some of those have been toyed with because they had to be in action during the marathon that Stephen was talking about for BeLive's birthday. It's fun. The BeLive birthday with 16 hours of broadcast was really fun and interesting to watch. Lots of good content and lots of people at different levels in the space. Some people were new, essentially had been in BeLive for a very short time, but they still wanted to be part of the broadcast. And it was just fun to watch. The levels of experience and professionalism is one thing, but to see the different personalities is something completely different. So, we're not judging them on their ability to bring in comments and to produce the show, but just to see all the different personalities. So even though we had a lot of marketers, so there were people that were on talking about some of the same topics, a lot of the same topics actually, it was completely different content. And even when it was some of the same content, the way that it was conveyed would resonate with different people. And I think that's one of the really great and really important things that you have to realize is you don't need to be whoever it is that you like. Like, so say you love Mari Smith. You don't have to be Mari Smith. That doesn't have to be your personality, because even though she's amazing and she's the queen of Facebook, there are some people that just don't like watching her. And they might enjoy watching you. And so you can provide that content. And Mari knows this. Mari doesn't care. Trust me. She doesn't care if you like watching her. She has many people who do. So just be yourself. We've got our guest that's coming on here. And I would say just be who you are. I mean, it doesn't always make sense to be smiling when you're delivering a piece of content. I don't know why people think you're smiling right now. You look like you're enjoying yourself and just hanging out. So you don't look like you're angry at me that I'm not taking your content and using it or something. I like your background. It's really cool.
Thank you. I was, Carlos is someone I follow, and I'm sure you guys know also too. He said when you're doing your videos, you look like really deep in thought. And I was like, yeah, I've been told by my kids multiple times that, Dad, you never smile. And I don't smile. And it's kind of a good thing because then their friends aren't really quite sure what to think of their dad. So I use that to my benefit.
Well, I've got a friend of mine, Michael, and he's not online very much anymore, but he used to come on and do a show with me. And he's very much an introvert. And so I have to push him out of his comfort zone when we get online. And people say that he looks like a mad scientist, especially when he's like trying to troubleshoot something. Someone's brought something to him and they're like having trouble with their sound. He looks like this crazy person while he's sitting there trying to work through it. But people are like enthralled and they just want to watch him do his crazy mad scientist thing while he's working through this and just rambling, really, because he's talking to himself while he's working through it. But for whatever reason, people were enjoying that. So if you've got people viewing and people interacting with you, then I say don't worry about what everybody else says. Just have fun. Yeah,
I'm trying. Normally, I'm real busy with work, but this time of year it kind of slows down for me. So that's exactly what I'm doing, is just trying to have fun. Been wanting to do something for a while, helping teach people some stuff that I've learned over the years. And so I'm just kind of dabbling in that for a little while.
You look like you're in like some kind of psychedelic cave.
No, it's actually a. Let me see if I can swap it for you.
Okay.
Actually,
oops.
Hold on a second. It is actually a set. I didn't have that on. And there you go.
Wow. Oh, very cool.
It's actually a set. So I've just been working on something for me, and that's normally for clients. So just messing around with that.
So I have to ask, because I've not seen you live. So now I'm going to have to go watch and see what you're doing, because I'm intrigued just by your set. But I assume that when you go live, you are teaching people how to do some of the things that you are going to be doing or are doing for your clients with your set and with your technology.
That's right. And I actually have it as a closed group. So really just kind of whoever really wants to know, everyone's welcome to join. But because my goal is to just really be transparent and share any tips or tricks that I've learned. And I thought that, just by chance, to make sure there's no conflict of interest with clients, I'm closing it up for people that want to really just do it themselves, and kind of show them an affordable way and just some talents that I just feel like if you know something, kind of like what you guys are doing, if you know something, why not teach it? Why not share it? Because I think that's just a good thing. It's paying it forward.
I got to say, if you're teaching me how to build a cool set like you've got behind me, I don't care if you smile.
I mean, the thing is that I totally agree, Jason. I mean, knowledge is for sharing. Mm-hmm. And if you can help somebody, then not only do you solve their problem, but to cut it short, it feels good because you've actually helped them to achieve something they wanted to. And we all learn from each other.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely, we've got, Stephen and I have our offices behind us, so we don't have a cool set. And I had a set downstairs and actually came back up out of the basement to enjoy the natural light and realized that wasn't for what I'm doing with Stephen. I don't need the set that you have behind you. Not to say that I wouldn't want to know how to do it, because who knows, I might need it at some point down the road, or for a client, I might need it. But,
sure.
I didn't need that. And I think people get too wrapped up in all of that kind of thing. Really, just if you're sharing knowledge and you're giving people something of value that they can use, they don't care if you're in a crack house while you're doing it. They don't care what's in your background. They just want to know what you have to share with them that's going to help them move forward in whatever it is that they're doing.
Yep, that's right. That's right. And actually for me, the couple pieces that I have already done, I've done some, produce with lower thirds and also their stuff like I do for my clients. I've done a channel for that a couple years ago, and I just abandoned it twice. But this time around, this is my keep it simple. So where you were in the basement with your studio, you're like, let me go up here. This is more of my setting. This is where I'm at. And this is kind of like for me, I don't, when I'm doing it, I try not to, I think today I threw something up on Wirecast for like a lower third, but normally it's for me, it's creating lower thirds from scratch and all kinds of stuff. And what I'm trying to do is force myself to be simple. Just go ahead and go and do it if something pops in my head, because I think that's a good approach for, for what I'm doing right now.
Well, I think, and Stephen, jump in, because I know I'll just talk and you never get to say a word. So
I'm good.
Pop in if you have something to say. But having a good production quality, especially if you're a business and you need that for a television spot or whatever, if you need it to be that nice, tight, professional, well done piece that Jason knows how to do for you. And that's great. Nobody's saying you don't need that anymore, because if you're a business, you probably still need that polished piece at some point. But it's unrealistic to believe that as a business, unless you're, some big conglomerate who can just throw money at it and have a studio in-house and that kind of thing, it's unrealistic to think that everything that you put out, especially on social media, is going to look like that. And it doesn't need to. That's not what this is about. What this is about is what Jason's doing right now, and that's being transparent, inviting people into part of your world. That's what they want to see on social media. They'll go to television, and they'll watch on the Super Bowl for those really cool commercials that have, $2 million put into it. You don't need that for social media.
No, I would. It'd be nice if we could, but we don't. Got to say that. I mean, I'm impressed by the set as well, and I'd love to know how it's done, because
you would be surprised. I'm sorry.
No, go on.
I was going to say you would be surprised how easy it is. You would be really surprised. When you're looking at that, you're looking at stuff from Home Depot. There's nothing. The illusion is in the lighting. Yeah. And that's kind of what I'm going to show later. But no, it's truly. We're talking about foam and some door mesh is basically what you're looking at when you see what's behind me.
Building the set is one thing, and probably most people, I'm not a really crafty person, so maybe not me, but my husband certainly could probably take a step-by-step that you show and build out the set. To me, that's not the hard part. To me, the part where it becomes difficult, where you have to have a professional, if you're going to have a studio built and you need someone to come in, when you get into using things like Wirecast and doing custom lower thirds and editing video, that's not something everybody can do. I can't do it.
That's right.
I use BeLive for this reason, because I don't want to learn all that. I mean, it's just the honest truth. I probably could. I just don't want to. And I don't need to for what I'm doing.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I know very little about Wirecast, BeLive, all those software-based components. And yet I've traveled coast to coast shooting live events for clients. And so when I go out, I have to go out with a, I did have it here yesterday, but anyway, a little breakout box that doesn't need a computer. So I basically tap straight into the internet and make sure I have their credentials to log into their profile. And that's it. Right. Because I don't know what you guys know on. That's why when I said I'll try, I've tried to get on BeLive before with David and Jonathan, and it's crashed so many times. Just because when it comes to software, I don't have a clue really. So it's interesting.
You just highlighted. We're good at this.
We are. Stephen.
Right, thank you. I mean, that you've just highlighted one of the things that has changed this year. I mean, we don't see, because it's incremental, is that the quality of broadcasts, if you look at something that came out last November on BeLive.tv and compare it to what's coming out today, there is a vast difference. The quality of the sound, the quality of the video, and the broadcast hangs together. It's very rare that we can now come out here, we can go live, and over 95% of the time, we won't have a single problem. And in a year, that's quite an achievement, because in the background, Zafir and his team have been working hard on actually making the platform stable. So anything that was experienced last quarter of 2016, or first quarter of this, is totally changed. And now is the time to sort of get involved with BeLive.
And honestly, it's the reason that this is the platform I use, is because of how easy it is to be able to bring a little bit of, production quality into the broadcast, with your ability to brand your frame and, include your logo or your brand that way. And then also with the lower thirds, it's not a huge production quality and value that you have there, but it's enough for what we're doing, because we're talking social.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
And the big thing for me is getting the client on. And because I'm talking with people who are, they don't know how to include attachment on an email. So, we're talking, their technical skills are down here, and I'm not even going to pretend to try to get them on something like OBS or Wirecast or some of the other, even, what's the other one, Stephen, that you use all the time?
Minicam?
No. Live stream.
Lightstream.
Yeah. Even that, some people say, oh, well, this looks easier to me. It's more intuitive that I can drag and drop it and switch side. I'm like, no, trust me. I just need one link a couple of buttons. That's all we can handle. We can't handle no drag and drop and resizing, organizing stuff. We have to keep it down here. And that's not criticizing them. These are, these are businessmen and women who are, they're running a business. They don't care about how to get them on Facebook. They just want me to get them there as easily as possible. Yeah. And this does that.
Right. And that's exactly how I run my business. I've been picked on by the people that I hire to go out and do shoots. I think David Vaughan picked up on it, and he made a joking comment, and he was completely correct. He was right on target. I'm the type of person where I look for something that works for me, and then I'm done. I don't try to know every single camera, every function. What I call a gearhead, that's not me. I just find the tools that work for me and stick with it and craft it and make it better. But to know, every software or every camera or every lens or whatever out there, it's just, you got to build on your strengths, because you're only going to get better from there.
So that is exactly true. When people are telling you that you look like you're angry or you're not smiling, ignore that, just like you're ignoring the people that tell you need to be a gearhead and you got to know how to use 75 different cameras, because at the end of the day, you're making money at this, right? This is what you're doing for a living. Okay, I'm not making money at this, and you're on here listening to me, so don't listen to me. That's not true. I do. I work with my clients on this, but it's not my main thing. What I'm doing is not what you're doing.
Right.
So you're doing something right. You give us advice. We want to know how you're making money using live streaming.
I try.
Miles is just saying that he is a gearhead, and he prefers to be live. It is simply the easiest platform to use. I'm just trying to decipher this one. I'm going to read it out.
I love what she just says. Shiny squirrels don't make money. That means that if you're chasing everything that's shiny and needing to learn to know everything, then you're not really focusing on that one thing that you're good at that's going to make you money.
That's right.
I'm a shiny squirrel, y'all.
I should have checked whether there's actually a squirrel emoticon, because we could have brought up an emoticon for that. Well, next time that we're all together, I should have found the squirrel, and we'll show it on screen with the comment.
Cool.
And Miles is saying Shiny does make money sometimes. Thank goodness for that.
No. One of my problems is chasing too many shiny things and not focusing enough on one shiny thing.
Well, I think there is a possibility. We were going back to, you mentioned Lightstream earlier, and Lightstream is bells and whistles, and it is 6 people on screen, and you can play a video and do a host of things. It is more complicated than Be Live, has to be said, but the thing is that it goes out to YouTube. And if you're serious about going to YouTube, then Lightstream is one to consider. And I'm looking forward to interviewing the CEO of Lightstream in the next week or so.
That's nice.
That was just a plug.
Well, listen.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it. I had fun. I'm going to get off, and maybe you guys bring someone else on. Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, Jason, thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure, and we want to know how you did that. Okay.
We'll
brilliant.
be watching.
Right.
Okay, take care.
Thanks.
I'm going to have to go follow Jason now, because
we'll have to find out how that was done. And I'm waiting, and Zeph's mentioning Lightstream. It's still wonky. It's getting closer. I love it too, and I'm just waiting for the wonkiness to disappear.
Yeah, I sent it to a friend, a colleague, I guess I should say, to test, because they didn't want to pay for Be Live right now.
Yeah.
And we used Be Live, and I showed her how to use it, and it all went great. And I was like, okay, well, here's this one. It's not that complicated. Go and play with it. And she came back. She's like, I have no idea how to do that.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm investing in this because I've got the Udemy course which shows how to use it. Zeph, if you want to join us for a few minutes, please do.
I think Lightstream is going to be great for a lot of people, especially people who are looking for more than 3 people on screen and that want to go to YouTube. But for most of my clients, none of them have YouTube channels. It doesn't make sense for them to have a YouTube channel, and they just need simplicity, and that's what we have with Be Live. So this is still the product I'm pushing out to my clients. This
is the go-to platform of choice.
And we had we had Jason come on, and we didn't even talk about what we were supposed to talk about.
Well, no, it didn't.
Why you like talk show? We should have asked him that. But he's not really using Be Live, so. No.
Somebody who is, though, is joining us in a moment. And, okay. And I'm just waiting for Zeph to join us. And then we can take that question and do our final repurposing recording of the day.
We have a comment there about something about YouTube. There we go. Facebook more engaging over YouTube for a newer channel. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's much more difficult.
Well, I'll own up now. I want to talk about this on Grow Your Live Tribe on Thursday, but I boosted a post over the weekend. We were talking about it last week. I actually went and did it, and I want to share my results, which I'm pleased with. But you can't boost on YouTube. Well, you can, but I don't know what effect. Right, and question from Miles. Yes, talk show is the only one with screen share. I've been doing a trip down memory lane today, documenting solo and face-to-face and talk show, and I can now say without any fear of contradiction that talk show is the one that has screen share. As we welcome, and this is a very warm welcome to Zeph. Hello, Zeph.
Hello. I get to be on camera with Tina and Steve. How often do I get to do that? I've been trying to catch up with the show. Yay!
Wonderful. I mean, we've known each other going back a while, but we've never been. Have we been on the same show together?
No, we have for a little bit. I think when Leland had us on the screen, like we had 6 or 8 people. Remember that square? Yeah. That was about all, but it was in and out kind of thing.
Right.
And Zeph's got her background all pretty today, and mine is like cluttered full. I have like food and
because Zeph is covering some of the background over there.
I usually try to clean mine off a little bit before, but this was one of those days I was out running errands. I was like, whatever. Everybody uses Windex. We know what it is. It's fine.
Tina and I are in the same color code today. We both got the memo.
Right, we've got a question from Graham, and it's for all of us. What features would you like to see from Be Live that's not already part of the tools?
What features would like to see from Be Live that are part of the tools? I don't know. Oh, you got me on the spot here, Stephen.
Okay, well, I'll pass it. No, I'll take it then, and then Tina, and then yourself. You got a chance.
Let me think for a little bit.
There are two things that I would like to see, especially given today when we're going to repurpose parts of this video into the Udemy course, is the ability to have video on demand with high density recording, so that we can take this video and we can repurpose it. Now, this is important not just from a personal point of view, because this will go into a Udemy course, but from a business point of view. If you're a business and you're going live on Facebook, you're creating content when you go live, and what you want to do is repurpose that content. Now, Facebook is a wonderful place, but they don't provide us with high definition video, which means that we can't repurpose it high quality. So that's my first one. Tina.
I would agree. That's a big one for me, to be able to download in high def is really important for all of my clients. That, as I've said before, producer controls, so that we can hand off controls, would be great. There's been plenty of times when, I don't know, I could get a phone call right now from my kids at school and I would have to leave. And if I started the broadcast, you guys would be able to continue, but you wouldn't have any control over anything.
That's true.
So to be able to hand that control off to one of you all and to be able to go do what I needed to do would be huge too. So that's mine.
I think I know what I want to see is the ability to embed the broadcast on a web page. For me, that has been huge, and that's the one thing that I've always looked for in the platform that I use. Because, like you said, Steve, this in Facebook is not HD, and I want to have a little bit of a control how I use or promote my broadcast, or how I can use it to actually generate leads from the website. Because at the end of the day, I do want my broadcast on my website. Typically not anywhere else but my website, because I want people to go to the website, even though I stream to Facebook also. So that's one of a big feature that I really wanted that I've been looking for in a long time. And that's why, I stayed with another platform also, because it has that embed feature.
Yeah, we use one of Hani's tools to embed the video into the website, and then it takes all of the comments and everything with it. But to have that natively, like we've seen forever, like we've just gotten so used to that being available to us when we see a video, even if it's not our own video, we can get the embed code and put it in our, wherever we want to put it. Yeah. So I haven't really given that much thought, because I use other tools to embed things, but it is kind of strange that that's not a native offering through Facebook.
Yeah.
It's kind of important, I think, to have that embed in the website, because definitely talk about Hani Mura's, but the platform that I'm using, it takes the entire frame, everything. So definitely what you see on that platform is what you also see as you embed it on the website. And then however you create the funnel to lead your traffic to the page, it's totally up to you. And that's what I want to see a little bit more, maybe just an embed feature that allows a little bit of all the entire frame, so I can do whatever I want when it comes to strategy wise of getting the traffic to the website. Because I think it's important, as a marketer, that's how I think, how do I get people to where I need them to be, not necessarily where the platform wants me to be.
Right. Facebook doesn't want you to leave Facebook.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, and we talk a lot about this, how can we, because platforms like Be Live and, the integration with Facebook with Facebook, definitely Facebook doesn't want us to leave it. But with Be Live, we can literally take that embed and put it on our website. And I think that's going to be a great tool.
I like that. I hadn't even, this is why when I say I love talk show and having people come in, the directions that you go in and things that you talk about, Zeph and I probably would not have sat down and talked about embed codes ever, even though we're going to do marketing.
Yeah.
Just because of the nature of the conversation and the way that it went, it really, I really am. I'm not surprised, but I am surprised, because Facebook's all about helping us market our wares and to get people back to their website, and so much so that they are really strict on, if you have a landing page that you're promoting, it has to actually be legitimate. It can't be like fake stuff. It has to be real. Yep. And they watch that. And I really haven't given it any thought. And it's funny that I haven't, because I'm so used to seeing embed codes. But I'm surprised that any post that you have on Facebook can't be embedded into your page.
Yeah. So that's interesting.
So we have our wish list, and now I've got it. We're actually doing a new challenge for BeLive.tv, which is to ask people to go solo, face-to-face, and talk show in the course of 5 days. And Tina and I are creating a Udemy course. And during today's show, what we've been doing is creating content. Now, we have one question left, and I can't think of a better 3 people to actually answer this. And the question is, because we all do, what do you enjoy about live broadcasting? What do you enjoy most?
I think for me, I enjoy most having a holistic and organic conversation, and also meeting people wherever they are in this world. That has always been my thing, because when I started live broadcasting, really the idea was like, all right, I'm at this actual live event and I can't get enough people to my space, how can I get those people who said I can't make it because I have to babysit my child today, or, you know, I can't make it because, you know, nobody's home or whatever, you know, because I'm at work. But that's a replay button to live broadcasting, and they can always rewatch the video. And the fact that I can still continue to connect with people post broadcasting is awesome. Meeting people from all over the world, the far reach, that has been my thing, connecting with people globally. So yeah, that's I think the two things I enjoy most.
That's good. Right. Tina.
Yeah, I have to second that. I mean, for me, I'm a very social person. I like people. I like talking to people, and you know, and I live in a little small town, and there's not a lot of techie people around for me to talk to. You know, I live in a rural area, so there's like farmers and people who ride horses, and even though I've lived here my whole life, I can't grow anything, and I've never ridden a horse, so I kind of don't have my people in my immediate area. So to be able to connect with people online who are interested in the same things that I'm interested in is amazing. And to be able to talk to people from all over the world, like Zeph said, you know, it really helps you grow as a person. If you can begin to understand and accept other people's cultures, and even if you don't always agree, we don't always see eye to eye. Even, you know, my next door neighbors, I don't see eye to eye with, and that's fine. But I get to understand people and see where they're coming from and learn things about them that I don't get to learn in Tullahoma, Tennessee. So for me, it's just an amazing experience for me for personal growth and professional growth.
And picking on what Tina just said, I'm in the UK, which is just about 3,000 miles away from where it's all happening. So I love broadcasting because it does bring people together. It's the best form of networking that there is. I've met a lot of people over the last 2 years while I've been live broadcasting, and got to know people really well. And if you want to get known for what you do, if you want to share your expertise and knowledge, then there is no better way to do it than on live video. And I just have a blast. I mean, I'm having a blast today because we're all together. And that's what it's all about, is about people joining together and solving the world's problems and our own problems at the same time.
If you have a niche, if you have like, you're interested in, I don't know, shiny squirrels, for example, it's a small niche. Not everybody likes shiny squirrels. Most people like the fuzzy brown ones. But if you like shiny squirrels, you can find your people online and you can connect. And it's even easier, actually, when you have a really specific niche. It's easier to build an audience. Your audience may not be 2 million people, but to have a really good engaged audience who's there and interested in what you have to say is easier than trying to build something that's kind of generic. So whatever your interests are, your passions, get online and have fun. You're going to meet people who love the same things that you do. And it's really a beautiful experience.
And it's also easier in many shapes and sizes and form, because when I say this to people, you know, why is it easier? I said to them, okay, if I were to attend, because I'm an avid networker, you know, in the past, I would travel to tri-state area around me to just go and meet people, go to big events, meet people. And then I was like, okay, I'm not really getting anything much from them. And the fact that I had to get ready to get dressed, fill the car with gas, all the extra expenses, right? And then you put 2-hour block on your calendar. It's just a 4-hour block, because going back and forth, getting dressed, 2 hours, that's 4 hours. And then you come back and return investment on the 4-hour block. And I'm looking like, okay, I can do 4 hours broadcast. I can get hundreds of people, you know, and that's when I said, you know, I had to really weigh into where I am, which direction I wanted to go. And I thought, oh my God, this live broadcasting, this live video thing is just the way to go. It's the next best thing to being in the same room with a person.
Yeah, and
it is.
And with networking, when you go to networking events, they're usually not that specific. They're not really niche industry specific. And so you spend all of this time. And if you're having to travel, like I would have to drive an hour and a half to get to a decent sized networking event in Nashville, Tennessee. Right. So I'm looking at 3 hours drive time if I don't run into traffic.
There you go.
You know, for maybe 40 minutes of running around frantically trying to meet people who I'm probably not going to remember when I leave anyway. If I happen to keep up with their business card, I might connect with them at some point. But the connections I've made through live streaming, and I'm a novice compared to these two, has just been phenomenal. It's been, for business and for personal. I've made some really good friendships on here, people that I don't do any kind of business with that I just adore. So this has been much more profitable to me, and both personally and professionally, to spend my time doing live streaming than it ever was doing broadcast. Doing network. I cannot name a person from any networking event I've done in the last 25 years that I know. None. I can't name any.
Jason says, same here in North Carolina. North Carolina. Oh, Jason.
Wow.
We're neighbors. We're not too far from each other.
I know. Just a couple hours. But yeah, and I think it's extremely, and it's and now my biggest challenge is going out there in the network. In the actual networking live events, right? The rooms. And, I used to be, people still know me from, they'll be like, oh my God, who doesn't know that? Zeph? I say, yeah, and they'll be asking me, where are you now? Like, what are you doing? I'm like, I live online these days. and I'm like, yeah, I have friends online. And it's it's a challenge for me because being this industry, and then I meet the local businesses, and trying to get over that hump of like, well, actually, this is what we're doing. And, and they look at me like I come down from planet Mars, and I'm like, okay, not my place to be. So, I've just, come through that full circle, and I'm like, wow. So it's much not nowadays. Sometimes it can get very exhausting for me because, I'm usually the only one in the room that does what I do. Mm-hmm. So to get to that, like, oh, this is my 30-second pitch of just getting to know you, people would just gloss over me, even though it's so simple. So that's why I like to let them come to me, right? Instead of me going to them, because that's the only way for them to know and understand what I do. Yeah.
You definitely cannot do a pitch about what you do.
Because they look at you like, what?
And you run into that. So we go out and talk to small local businesses. Most of them are not doing this. I don't know of any actually locally that are doing this, and unless they've talked to me.
Yes.
But you have this education gap that you have to get past before you can even begin to get them to understand what you do. Mm-hmm. Never mind explaining to them how it can benefit their business. You need so much more time than you're going to have at a networking event, and you really can't even tell them. You have to show them.
Indeed, and the comment from Miles is being experiment with private screen consulting or private group as replacement to go to webinar. I think we're in a time where we can experiment with different things. I came across a platform last night which Brian Balch highlighted, and basically it is a live streaming platform, and you can go on there, you can bring your products that you're selling, and you can talk about them. But the broadcast comes from your phone, and, well, I'll give you the link afterwards. I'd love your thoughts for a future show, because BeLive TV is quite probably the most cost-effective way to broadcast today compared to other systems. And that brings us up nicely to over the hour as usual. Zeph, it's been a pleasure. Will you come back and join us later this month or early next month?
Absolutely. Yay! So I'm definitely looking forward to this. I was just happy I caught you guys live, because I was like, okay, I'm going to catch one of these days. I say catch this show live, and I did it. Yay! It's just because that tells you that I was working at the computer. That's why.
No, it sounded brilliant. You don't need to, we're good.
Yeah, we were matched today, so it was a good day.
So we're meant to be, right? It was meant to be. So it's meant to be. It's meant to be. Well, thank you so much, Tina and Steven, for having me today. Oh, thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you. Thanks again to Jason.
Take care.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
No shiny squirrels.
Well, I've learned something today. I really have. Right. I just love this because it can go anywhere, can't it?
You've learned that if you have like a sore throat and you're not feeling well, just have 2 women on the screen. You don't have to talk.
No, but it makes every show different and special because we I don't know. I mean, we get highs from doing these shows because there's the Be Live buzz, and interacting on screen is just the most amazing experience. And you never. Well, first of all, you never get rid of the sort of butterflies before we go live, but you never get rid of the buzz, and I think that's brilliant. And that's
Be Live buzz.
The Be Live buzz.
Uh-oh. You're in trouble, David.
Just a minute. And Zeph saying, welcome, Graham. And we do have, all right, David, thank you for joining us. All right. Whoa.
Are you going to tweet that? Like my quote for Twitter?
Let's have that as the closing screen because that is priceless.
Just have 2 women.
We do the show on Thursdays, Blabbing for Britain, and Billy comes and joins us as well as Tish. And Billy has the most awesome sense of humour and turn of phrase. And we often end the show with one of the comments he's made and just leave it there because it raises a smile. So.
Yeah, well, if you take this out of context and put that like somewhere, nobody's going to have any idea what it's talking about, which makes it even funny.
But people will watch the replay. Right, we are back. We're back on. Are we back on Thursday?
Yeah.
Of course we are. With Grow Your Live Tribe and the story of my boosting a post and being happy and a lot more besides. Oh, no, sorry, no. That's wrong, isn't it? That's totally wrong. It's just reminded us. I'm glad you turned up then, David. Shall we tell them about Thursday?
Well, yes.
Okay.
We're going to try again.
We're trying again. If you don't succeed, try again. It is WebinarJam, hosted by David Vaughan. We'll be live on the same page at 12 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. GMT. And you'll also find the show on the Be Live in 5 page or on my page, but Be Live in 5. And we'll make connections with you afterwards, Graham. Then you can... we can keep in touch. Thanks for joining us.
And thanks for taking the course.
Oh, thank you for taking it. Indeed. Big thank you for taking the course. And we've got a new course on the way and a challenge as well.
But yes, David Vaughan, WebinarJam, Thursday, 12 p.m. Eastern, right here.
And from Wiltshire in England, enjoy the rest of your day and over to Tina.
Yes, thank you for joining us. We'll see you Thursday. Bye.
Take care, everybody. Bye.